gonna love you.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of The Artist Reads the Bible. Today we're starting with Genesis 47, and I'll probably do 48 too. I don't know. I'm a little under the weather. I done caught something. When I went to the VA, one of the two trips I went, or the restaurant we went to or something, somebody done give me something. I don't think it's that COVID junk, first off, because I've been vaccinated. Second off, because it's not the symptoms of COVID. I smell fine, taste fine, throat's not sore, don't have chest congestion, not running a fever, so I don't think it's COVID. What I got is like body aches and like queasiness in my stomach, and kind of like a stomach flu kind of thing, I think. So yeah, if you noticed I haven't shaved, I apologize. I suffered through today getting my yard mowed. I grilled some steaks for me and my wife, and just don't feel like doing much today. Stinks when you're sick, but I've always got to make time for God, so we're going to read the Bible even if we are sick. As usual, got my highlighter, I got my decaf Java juice, and I got the living Word of God. And if I get a little whatever, trip over my words, or just you'll have to excuse me. So like I said, I'm not feeling very good, so yeah. Oh, even got stuff in my eyes and everything. Oh, I hate being sick, but we'll get through it. All right, 47. Then Joseph went to see Pharaoh and told him, "My father and my brothers have arrived from the land of Canaan. They have come with all their flocks and herds and possessions, and they are now in the region of Goshen." Joseph took 5 of his brothers with him and presented them to Pharaoh. And Pharaoh asked the brothers, "What is your occupation?" Selling brothers in slavery. That's a joke. They replied, "We, your servants, are shepherds, just like our ancestors. We have come to live here in Egypt for a while, and there is no pasture for our flocks in Canaan. The famine is very severe there, so please, we request permission to live in the region of Goshen." Excuse me. Then Pharaoh said to Joseph, "Now that your father and brothers have joined you here, choose any place in the entire land of Egypt for them to live. Give them the best land of Egypt. Let them live in the region of Goshen. And if any of them have special skills, put them in charge of my livestock too." Then Joseph brought in his father Jacob and presented him to Pharaoh. And Jacob blessed Pharaoh. "How old are you?" Pharaoh asked him. Jacob replied, "I have traveled this earth for 130 hard years. 130. Nobody lives that long anymore today, but that's a lot of years, isn't it? "But my life has been short compared to the lives of my ancestors." Yeah, Methuselah lived 900 something years, wasn't it? Good grief. You imagine living that long? Well, when we pass on from this life, we're going to live forever. That's a lot of years. Then Jacob blessed Pharaoh again before leaving his court. So Joseph assigned the best land of Egypt, the region of Ramesses, to his father and his brothers, and he settled them there, just as Pharaoh had commanded. And Joseph provided food for his father and his brothers in amounts appropriate to the number of their dependents, including the smallest children. Meanwhile, the famine became so severe that all the food was used up, and people were starving throughout the lands of Egypt and Canaan. By selling grain to the people, Joseph eventually collected all the money in Egypt and Canaan, and he put the money in Pharaoh's treasury. When the people of Egypt and Canaan ran out of money, all the Egyptians came to Joseph. "Our money is gone," they cried, "but please give us food, or we will die before your very eyes." Joseph replied, "Since your money is gone, bring me your livestock, and we'll give you food in exchange for your livestock." So they brought their livestock to Joseph in exchange for food. Well, can't you just eat the livestock? In exchange for their horses, well, I wouldn't want to eat a horse. flocks of sheep and goats, now that they could eat, herds of cattle, you can eat that too, and donkeys, I wouldn't want to eat that. Joseph provided them with food for another year. But that year ended, and the next year they came again and said, "We cannot hide the truth from you, my lord. Our money is gone, and all our livestock and cattle are yours. We have nothing left to give but our bodies and our land. Why should we die before your very eyes? Buy us and our land in exchange for food. We offer our land and ourselves as slaves for Pharaoh. Just give us grain so we may live and not die, and so the land does not become empty and desolate." So Joseph bought all the land of Egypt for Pharaoh. All the Egyptians sold him their fields because famine was so severe, and soon all the land belonged to Pharaoh. As for the people, he made them all slaves, from one end of Egypt to the other. The only land he did not buy was the land belonging to the priest. They received an allotment of food directly from Pharaoh, so they didn't need to sell their land. Then Joseph said to the people, "Look, today I have bought you and your land for Pharaoh. I will provide you with seed so you can plant the fields. Then when you harvest it, 1/5 of your crop will belong to Pharaoh. You may keep the remaining 4/5 as seed for your fields and as food for you, your households, and your little ones." "You have saved our lives," they exclaimed. "May it please you, my lord, to let us be Pharaoh's servants." Joseph then issued a decree, still in effect in the land of Egypt, that Pharaoh should receive 1/5 of all the crops grown on his land. Only the land belonging to the priest was not given to Pharaoh. Meanwhile, the people of Israel settled in the region of Goshen in Egypt. There they acquired property, and they were fruitful, and their population grew rapidly. Jacob lived for 17 years after his arrival in Egypt, so he lived 147 years in all. That's a long life. As the time of his death drew near, Jacob called for his son Joseph and said to him, "Please do me this favor. Put your hand under my thigh." See, there that is again. That is so weird, putting the hand under the thigh. Could you imagine doing that today? Well, I'll tell you what, put your hand under my thigh. You get in trouble for that today, I think. "And swear that you will treat me with unfailing love by honoring this last request. Do not bury me in Egypt. When I die, please take my body out of Egypt and bury me with my ancestors." So Joseph promised, "I will do as you ask." "Swear that you will do it," Jacob insisted. So Joseph gave his oath, and Jacob bowed humbly at the head of his bed. That's 47. Oh, my ear itches. I swear, when you're sick, I think it makes all your allergies worse, too. I don't know. There they're talking about that slavery again. I don't know, man. That's kind of a sore subject here in the United States, isn't it? The subject of slavery, because, well, I know slavery goes on all over the world, but I don't know. I was going to say, I think maybe the people who were slaves here got treated a lot worse than slaves everywhere else. I mean, they were beaten, raped, families split up, basically treated like workhorses or something, man. Just plow the field, pick the field, all that. I don't know. But I guess that happens all over the world, doesn't it? But here it's talking about they willingly went into slavery. Nobody sold them into it. They willingly went into it. And I had heard that also happened in this country back when slavery was going on. It wasn't just African Americans that was put into slavery. There was, from what I understand, there was a lot of Irish that were slaves too, that come over, and they were very, very poor. And if they couldn't pay their debts, they basically gave their children up into slavery to pay off their debts, And I guess it's a little different because, they willingly gave up their children to pay this debt off, whereas, African Americans were dragged from, their own people sold them into slavery, and then the Dutch brought them over here, and then they were bought here, but, none of that was willing. They were grabbed and sold into slavery, so it's a little bit different. But but I've heard that there were other slaves. There were white slaves in this country too. I mean, if I'm not mistaken, I believe there may have been Oriental slaves, and there may have been Native American slaves too. So, but I don't know. Well, I'm not going to keep going into that. Y'all know history. Well, some do. Some get it distorted, but whatever. I'm going to give me some of this good warm coffee. Maybe it make me feel better. I'm telling you, I feel rough. My cat is glaring at me right over there. She's mad. I told them. They're both the other ones up there. I tell them every time I come back here to read the Bible, I close the door so I don't disturb my wife, and her TV don't disturb me. And I'm like, y'all better get out. I'm going to close the door and you're going to be stuck in here. And they just look at me like, whatever. And then I close the door, and inevitably, within 5 minutes, they're over by the door wanting out. Well, one of them is. The other one's still up there. The other one don't care. She's watching the outside world. Wishing she was out there, but she don't want to be out there, trust me. Because she has got out the door, side door a couple times and freaked out and just froze in place. And then I borrowed, when my mom's 2 dogs passed on, I borrowed one of the big kennels, and I thought, you know what? I used that for one of our cats that passed on. He was old age, and I wanted to use a kennel to put him in, and so I could set him on the back deck so he could enjoy being outside in his last days, I wanted to try to give him a gift before he passed on. And I thought, you know what? I'm not going to wait till they're old anymore. I'm going to use this crate, and I can put our cats in it and set them on the back deck during the day. And they can enjoy the sunshine and watch the birds and the butterflies and feel the wind in their face and all this. Give them this beautiful gift. And so I put 2 of them out there, and don't you know, they hated it. They would hiss at each other, hiss at us. They didn't want no part of that outside. So we don't need to try to put them out there no more, because they get all hissy pants. They don't like it. So I ain't tried. I thought I was giving them a gift, but I guess they only like it when they're old and near death. I don't know. When you try to give them a gift when they're younger and can enjoy it, fully enjoy it, they don't want a part of it. They get all hissy pants and they want back in the house. I ain't kidding, boy. They try to bite us and scratch us and everything else. They do not like the outside. All our cats were rescues, but we brought them in when they were, little kittens, and they've been inside ever since. They don't know the outside. So they don't like it. They'll sit there with these windows and look outside all day long. But you try to put them outside, let them enjoy the day, and they don't want a part of that. It's okay to look out the window at it, but they don't want to be in it. They just want to watch it. All right, let's go on 48, shall we? Whew. This ain't good, boy. Give me just a second. Had that churning going on. I was like, I ain't finna puke all over my Bible. I don't think God would mind, but, it's going to be hard to read His Word. Give me a new Bible. Hard to read the words through stains, you know what I mean? Whew. Oh, I don't like being sick. All right, it has subsided, so let's go on. 48. One day, not long after this, word came to Joseph, "Your father is failing rapidly." So Joseph went to visit his father, and he took with him his 2 sons, Manasseh and Ephraim. When Joseph arrived, Jacob was told, "Your son Joseph has come to see you." So Jacob gathered his strength and sat up in his bed. Jacob said to Joseph, "God Almighty appeared to me at Luz, in the land of Canaan, and blessed me. He said to me, I will make you fruitful, and I will multiply your descendants. I will make you a multitude of nations, and I will give this land of Canaan to your descendants after you as an everlasting possession. And I am claiming as my own sons these two boys of yours, Ephraim and Manasseh, who were born here in the land of Egypt before I arrived. They will be my sons, just as Reuben and Simeon are, Simon. But any children born to you in the future will be your own, and they will inherit land within the territories of their brothers Ephraim and Manasseh. A little weird, isn't it? They did stuff different back then. Long ago, as I was returning from Padan Aram, Rachel died in the land of Canaan. We were still on the way some distance from Ephrath, that is Bethlehem. So with great sorrow I buried her there beside the road to Ephrath. Then Jacob looked over at the two boys. Are these your sons? He asked. Yes, Joseph told him. These are the sons God has given me here in Egypt. And Jacob said, bring them closer to me so I can bless them. Jacob was half blind because of his age and could hardly see. So Joseph brought the boys close to him, and Jacob kissed and embraced them. Then Jacob said to Joseph, I never thought I would see your face again, but now God has let me see your children too. Well, he got 17 years with him. 17 years is a long time. Joseph moved the boys. There's one of the ones, little scoundrels that won out. That would be Mittens right there. She's Lynx Point Siamese. It's a pretty cat, ain't she? Hey, you two, and that would be Gremlin. You two don't be fighting now. Joseph moved the boys, who were at their grandfather's knees, and he bowed with his face to the ground. Then he positioned the boys in front of Jacob. With his right hand, he directed Ephraim toward Jacob's left hand, and with his left hand, he put Manasseh at Jacob's right hand. You're going to have to wait, I tried to tell y'all. What are you looking at? She's a pretty cat, ain't she? But Jacob crossed his arms as he reached out to lay his hands on the boys' heads. He put his right hand on the head of Ephraim, though he was the younger boy, and his left hand on the head of Manasseh, though he was the firstborn. Then he blessed Joseph and said, May the God before whom my grandfather Abraham and my father Isaac walked, the God who has been my shepherd all my life to this very day, the angel who has redeemed me from all harm, may he bless these boys. May they preserve my name and the names of Abraham and Isaac, and may their descendants multiply greatly throughout the earth. But Joseph was upset when he saw that his father placed his right hand on Ephraim's head. So Joseph lifted it to move it from Ephraim's head to Manasseh's head. No, my father, he said, this one is the firstborn. Put your right hand on his head. But his father refused. I know, my son, I know. He replied, Manasseh will also become a great people, but his younger brother will become even greater, and his descendants will become a multitude of nations. So Jacob blessed the boys that day with his blessing. The people of Israel will use your names when they give a blessing. They will say, May God make you as prosperous as Ephraim and Manasseh. In this way, Jacob put Ephraim ahead of Manasseh. Then Jacob said to Joseph, Look, I am about to die, but God will be with you and will take you back to Canaan, the land of your ancestors. And beyond what I have given your brothers, I am giving you an extra portion of the land that I took from the Amorites with my sword and bow. And that's 48. Kind of weird. He's taking his two sons as his own. I don't know. They did stuff differently back then. I don't know. Whew, we got through it, didn't we? Oh, she up there now. She's pouting now. She's a pretty kitty cat, though, ain't she? She's a Lynx Point Siamese, and Gremlin is a Calico. I don't know. Some people say she's a ragamuffin or whatever. What do they call it? I don't know. She might be. I don't know. But beautiful cats. They're my babies. So, well, she's not happy. She's over by the door. She wants out of this room. Every time I come in here, I tell them, I'm about to close this door. Y'all better get out. You're going to be trapped up in here with me. So they get trapped. Oh, well, they're going to hear the word of God, too. Do them some good. Anyway, I'm going to hop off here, people. Give my old throat a rest and give my old body a rest. Oh, I'm feeling rough. Might go drink me some of that. I just call it white stuff. It's a liquid liquid antacid stuff. See if it'll help my stomach some. So anytime. I told you I don't feel good anyway. I hope you all got something out of today. I know I did. Until next time, I love each and every one of you. Y'all please, please, please be good to each other. And I'll bring you something again real soon.